Look at you with those headphones.
All right, folks, welcome to Irongeek Cast number 28, post-Hacker Summer Camp wrap-up. And we put that corrected in here. And hopefully we hear the loop back here in a second. Hacker Summer Camp yeah, there it wrap-up. So how everybody's doing today?
Good, good.
I'm feeling great, man. Just living it up. My daughter was born today, so I'm feeling great.
Congratulations, man.
Congrats.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. And oh man, I'm officially a daddy hacker.
Welcome to the club.
Thank you, man. It's feeling great to be a part of the club, man.
Raise it right and keep her off Tumblr.
That's it.
That's right.
You know it.
No
yeah, that
time.
damn Tumblr is the devil.
Get these next couple days in, because after this, your life is going to change.
Ooh, it's already changed. It's already changed a little bit.
Go ahead.
But it's cool stuff, man. I'm just having fun, living it up, and it's making me just want to do things even a little bit more hardcore.
See, now is when the worrying begins. After the grace period of wow, I've got a new human being to be proud of and take care of. Now you gotta the worrying sets in. It's like, oh my god, now I have to worry about somebody else.
Yeah, always like the worry factor turned on like as soon as she was born. Like, okay, is she using the bathroom right? Is she is everything functioning?
It only gets more powerful.
Yeah. So anyway, what else is going on with everybody else? Hacker Summer Camp in the books, Black Hat in the books, DEF CON in the books. So for those
I'm gonna go ahead and cover the cons that are coming up real quick since I haven't done that in a while since they were phrased.
Nice.
But autumn is getting closer. So September 20th through the 24th is going to be Con in Louisville, Kentucky. Then October 20th through the 22nd is going to be Skydog Con in Nashville, Tennessee. Con is happening October 26th and 27th up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And HackerCon is going to be happening in West Virginia, November 17th to 19th. And let's go ahead and get into what all happened at Hacker Summer Camp. My biggest thing is I got to meet some people who I hadn't met in person before, like Hot Dish. I hadn't met her before in person. And I don't think I'd actually met Malware Unicorn in person before. TXVB, I think we met a couple years ago at DEF CON. So I got to meet some people, so that was cool. Other than that, I got to buy some new lockpick stuff. I got this really cool comb kit that I'll get you from Sarah Pick. I'll get you in some locks that you normally can't comb pick, or at least you can't easily comb pick just holding it by hand. And because it's got this whole system of raising everything to the right level. It's really neat. I got a video on it a while back. Got some new rakes from Sparrow, and I bought me a new comb pick system from them too, but I think I promptly lost it as soon as I bought it, unfortunately. I can't seem to find it in my luggage and such. And other than that, just had a pretty good time. Hacker Jeopardy was fun, and I didn't strangle anybody else that was on the stage with me. That was good. Not Hacker Jeopardy. Hacker. Whose slide is it anyway?
Yep.
And I don't know. I generally had a good time, if tiring. And of course, I come home weighing a lot more. But such is life. How was it for anybody else who attended, or if anybody who didn't attend has questions? Because last time it was pretty scarce on me. I think it was Frank, Jack, and Charles on pretty much. And only one of those guys, Frank, was actually I think out there. I think that's right.
That sounds about right, man. So the Hacker Camp altogether, like, how many years have they been having Hacker Camp? This is my first time actually hearing of it.
Well, this is the 25th. No, what do they call it? Hacker Summer Camp, because
Summer Camp. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's a string of. You start off with Black Hat, B-Sides Las Vegas, and then DEF CON. Black Hat and B-Sides Las Vegas overlap, and there's a bunch of other little side events all over the place. But basically, that's what they call it. I guess you can say it started 24 years ago with the first DEF CON. This was DEF CON 25 this year.
Got you.
It started as one big party, and then Jeff Moss made a sub-con before DEF CON that was more professional. Because people whine about what goes on at DEF CON being unprofessional. It's not meant to be a professional conference. Black Hat, more so. So Jeff started that off, but eventually I think he sold Black Hat off to some other company that does productions like that.
Yeah, he sold it.
But he did stay on the board or something.
I have to say, from seeing all the pictures and posts everyone did during the last con, a couple of things. A lot of people have dodged the con flu. Everyone looked like they're having a good time. Your beard has massive hacker foo.
Yes, my beard is yeah.
I was going to raise 2 more points, but you can't see what they are right now. Oh, the Nashville Con. What's it called again?
Oh, Show Me Con. Sorry, my brain thought Skydog Con. I had an S in my mouth, and I just went with Show Me Con. Yeah, Skydog Con.
Skydog Con. If there's any tickets left, I may go to that.
Oh, I'm sure there's tech. I don't think it sells out. Also, he has a tendency to announce things late and so forth. But it's a good time, and I like going down Nashville. It's only a 3-hour drive for me.
Yeah, it's not that far from me. So, and I'm not going to be coming to DerbyCon this year.
Oh, bummer.
I know, it's just not going to be the same without me.
And Anthony's gone. I'm not sure. He came on and it went away. All right. Well, TXVB, what were your favorite parts of Hacker Summer Camp?
I liked actually put it where we've put on the Who Slide Deck Is It Anyway. That was a blast for us to put together and put on. That was fantastic. And then the party the Human Zoo put on afterwards was pretty cool too.
Yeah, we raided the mini mansion we were staying at, and me and my coworkers, and bought over a lot of chips and other things. So those I wish we could have brought, but you know, state doesn't travel very easy.
Yeah, I will.
Oh, maybe sometime in the future, Adrian, you can create a TNA panel.
It's an ass panel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll go over like a turn in a punch bowl at certain segments of the population.
Yeah, but people will show up for it. Guaranteed.
If you can get it out there. God, man, one of the people in charge of events is kind of a social justice whiner.
Well, you can always add it for DerbyCon, I guess.
Yeah, well, I got to, man, that's another story also. Let me see. All right. Anybody else got any comments about Hacker Summer Camp?
Yeah, it was just good meeting up with all the people I hadn't seen in a year and meeting a ton of new people again, which is always fun.
All right. Well, in that case, I think I'll move on to the next thing, which is this NoobSec drama stuff, which I'm a little confused by. A couple people are writing something called, what is it, InfoSec Noobs? Trying to find the exact Twitter handle.
Yes, yeah, that.
InfoSec Noobs with the O's being spelled with, well, the InfoSec is spelled normal, but Noobs is spelled with 2 zeros. Apparently, there was a post, and this is basically the order of the tweets I saw that seemed most important. We start off with Marcus J. Carey, is very respected in the industry, saying, I hate to be the one to let everyone know, but NoobSec is a charlatan-led effort. I can't let the community be taken advantage of. And I'm not sure, I'd like to have more elaboration on that, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'll wait for you to finish and then I'll say my little piece.
Well, I mean, I see a lot of people say that apparently they collected some money to get people out to various conferences, especially DEF CON and Black Hat. And now my personal philosophy on this, I don't be hypocritical, but I originally got out to DEF CON the first year I went in 2009 on other people's donations before I actually had a job in InfoSec. So I don't want to be too hypocritical, but at the same time, if you're collecting money to get someone to a con, I'd recommend something other than DEF CON and Vegas in general, because there's so many other smaller cons that they'd probably go get more out of if they're a noob, and they can get there a lot cheaper. But that's all I have to say for that particular tweet. Go ahead. I have still yet to find out. I think they refunded the money But the accusation is out there, and I'm a little confused. And someone was saying Hacks for Snacks was banned from DEF CON, but I haven't got any really good, strong confirmation from that. I'm not sure what it was over.
His Twitter account indicated on his timeline that he was told by Caesar Security he was trespassing. Get out.
Huh.
So I don't know what happened there, what the story is, and there's kind of been nothing more on his account since then.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, I've only spoken to Snacks a couple times. He does come across as a bit scummy to me. I mean, it just is what it is. He seemed at first to be like that person that truly wanted to do something in the industry, but he just seems to be trying to fulfill his own ends.
Ambulance lawyer.
Pretty much.
That type of lawyer that runs after ambulances. That sort of inherent scummy feeling. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, like rather than keeping it low and humble and hey, I eventually want to work for this certain organization, but he's trying to go full bore in, gung ho. I'll step over anybody to get there.
Gotcha.
Yo, I have a question. Any of you guys went to Telefreaks party?
I don't
No.
believe I did. I walked in for a food party. I know it's because Human Zoo party, and I went in for the what is it? The blanket port party. But I spent most of the time at the Human Zoo one, and a little bit of time at the social engineering party.
Oh, I see. I went with the Ninja Networks. This is Kashik Flow. I went with like Hook. Do you guys know Hook?
Look, I can't say I know Hook.
Yeah, Hook. He's right here. Come here, Hook. Say hi to the guys at the fucking podcast. Yeah, he's right here. Here, I'll put him up on the phone. Yeah, this is my other account has got messed up. But here's say hi to the guys.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Right here you
What's
go.
up?
Hello.
Turn on the camera. See if we can see.
Yeah, I'm just going through things, trying to dissect what's happening. Now, I'm always questionable about any kind of charity because I don't trust a lot of officers I don't trust. But
People.
But yeah, it was. It first started off with one of the admins. I think it was K Smooth, who was outed as trying to get certain women professionals Snapchats, and he was trying to be jokey about it, but
see, I actually haven't seen a screenshot of that. The one screenshot I saw was pretty innocuous. I mean, it was, well, actually, let me go ahead and see if I can find it real quick. I have this person blocked on Twitter because of previous things I've seen him run-ins with other people. And I was like, I don't really want to deal with this person. But here is the screenshot that I saw. Let me start my sharing on my screen. Hopefully it shows me now. Okay, you see my screen?
Hold on.
I was going to say that was a yes or no question. So,
Yes.
Okay, I know a little firsthand about the InfoSec Noobs controversy, but hidden cyber figures, you don't see sexual harassment here. And this is the one screenshot I've seen. And this person seems incredibly high-strung for what I've read other places. Apparently, she lost a job because of some reporting once. Something I'm sure Live Beef would know more about. But someone posted this screenshot. Basically, what they said was this one XYNMAI person, they were talking about baby suicide, and K Smooth said, "You swim or you just have a two-piece you want to show off." And the reaction was just a blank face. And Kimberly Crowley says, "You have a two-piece you want to show off. Sounds like sexual harassment to me. Let's see your figure, sweetheart." That's pretty damn innocuous, okay?
Yeah, I mean that's mounting out of molehills, and I mean, and just taking that little bit, you can blow that up out of context. It could have been more jokes thrown previously.
But that's the only sexual harassment thing I've seen. If that's all you got, no, they're making a mountain out of a fucking molehill.
But no, I mean he's been known to, like I said, ask for women's Snapchats.
Okay, I haven't seen screenshots related to that, and I don't know nothing about them. This is what then if they want to make evidence of like sexual harassment, they need to come up with something better than this.
But I mean, I don't even know Smooth, so
Yeah, I think I may have met him once. I don't know. I know I've met Hacks for Snacks before. Seemed like a nice enough fellow, though. He started talking about volunteering places and increasing diversity, and I told him I don't really care so much about diversity. I just think everything should be Adrian clones. I mean, my thing about that is make it a welcoming environment. Anybody who wants to come in, welcoming environment. Let me phrase that. Don't keep anybody out. But I'm not big on recruiting any particular segment of the population either. I'm just like, make it easy for people to get in, but that's all I care about. If people don't choose to show up, well, that's their problem. But that's the only thing I actually saw evidence-wise of any sexual harassment stuff. But you're saying there's rumors of other stuff going on. And everybody but me is muted. How did that happen?
We didn't want to interrupt your display.
Ah, thank you. So, okay, the money-wise thing, though, what exactly is the accusation of money? Because apparently they collected money to help get some people to DEF CON.
But they never came up with the plan on how to distribute it or who won the quote-unquote scholarship.
Yeah. And one of the things I read is they started the entire plan like a couple weeks before DEF CON, which is just too fucking late.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have something like that running for several months beforehand to make up enough money on like Patreon or whatever, or GoFundMe to actually get it going.
Yes, and then in the meantime, Hacks for Stacks and K Smooth also both. I think K Smooth, the only thing he had to pay for was his plane ticket, but Hacks for Stacks got a full ride there, and so Smooth jumped on his coattails, and then there was another person involved, and I never really got to get back with him and figure out if he wanted me to name him or not. I know that the mutual person I know, the other person that I know him and Stacks through, they were adamant that I do not name them in your presence.
Okay. My presence. Why me?
I don't know.
Okay. I know one guy apparently stepped away from it before a lot of the drama started.
Yeah, and that was the guy, Cypher.
Yeah, I wonder though, is this actually malfeasance or is it just incompetence? I mean, I hate to see even that mean, but people thinking, oh yeah, we're gonna start this noob thing and help some noobs out, and it's gonna stay all good, and it's probably self promotion maybe, but just not being very good at knowing, you really should start this earlier, have a plan in place.
If it was, a lack of doing it before, just come forward and say, yeah, we screwed up and we're going to take the money and we'll do next con or something, instead of it's been silent from what I've seen. And that
apparently there was some kind
of because Snacks has been outed. I mean,
so what's the deal with that? I mean, I don't understand. Like with Snacks is now Hacks with Snacks, is that the same person we're talking about, or
Hacks for Snacks? Yeah.
Yeah. Like what's the deal? Like what you said he or she's been outed before. Why do you say that? What happened?
Can't really say, but let's just say if I took screenshots of the DMs that I've had with him, yeah, I could pretty much fucking end him.
Oh, okay. Well, enough said. Yeah, enough said.
So we'll just sum all that up as hattery, okay?
All right.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Apparently, they had put a message out. Though Hacks of Snacks said he was going to put his own message out yet. But apparently, someplace they did post an official statement on theirs and as an image. I found out about it. Does this? Let me share my screen once again, and let me your entire screen. and I'm trying to get to the bottom of this because I've been on the end of internet hate mob of people who don't know what the fuck's going on, but they instantly join in because one person they like said, "Oh, this person's terrible." Well, this person must be terrible. This person wrote a blog. This is the most detailed blog I've seen on it. But this person's also they strike me as little SJWE. It's like, how do I put it this way? I'm always suspect when someone goes to the length of listing their pronouns, because generally you can kind of figure what pronouns most people want just by what are they presenting as. When people go to the trouble of actually listing the pronouns, I usually think it was a huge virtue signal. But apparently, according to this, they did post a message in the form of an image. And by this person who wrote this blog post that I have up right now, and this is all in the show notes, also it was like throwing out accusations against this Case Move guy, but not saying what exactly the sexual harassment was. That's always suspect to me. And also, they're really pushing the code of conduct shit, which, quite frankly, what the code of conduct is a bunch of words if it's not enforced. The code of conduct does, to me, is it's not a solution to anything because it doesn't actually have any well, it's selectively enforced. Depends on who's actually doing things. I just don't have much faith in a written code of conduct to have any more good than just social norms. And someone's calling me. Why is someone calling me on Hangouts?
That's what I don't want to say that I jumped bandwagon because someone I like to follow or I enjoy listening to when they're fighting, arguing with other people. But sometimes I do that with you, Adrian.
Guys, I got to mute myself for just a second because I can't be on this conversation at the same time. Let me see. You all continue on.
Wow.
I just think it's just.
And it goes on forever.
Yeah.
I just think it's just too much. It's just too much of this extra fluff that goes on in these situations, as opposed to just getting down to some really cool shit. And that's what keeps. I think it just keeps people away from the really cool shit when they just get involved. Like you said, Adrian was saying, hey, just because one person doesn't like you, then everybody else got to do the damn Bill Cosby pile on kind of.
Well, this isn't a fuck it. I'm gonna say it. Look, Bill was flat out begging for money. I mean, he was like, well, I'm just days away from getting put out of my apartment, and then going to other people saying the same shit.
Not cool.
All right, here's the official message from InfoSec Noobs. First, an announcement: we will be refunding all backers of our campaign. The process was already begun. Second, an explanation and apology. The simple reason for this is that we were not able to execute the campaign to the standards we held for ourselves.
Around and do my thing for a little bit.
Whoever didn't do something halfway or otherwise cast doubt on our fledgling organization, we'd like to do right by all involved and return funds. This campaign and the idea behind it sparked a healthy discussion about con attendance and opportunity, particularly as it relates to beginners in InfoSec. We as an organization still believe in the value of networking and learning at any conference, not just large ones. This is still an opportunity that we will attempt to provide for the community in the future. Finally, there are some in the community that believe our silence has been indicative of scheming or otherwise taking advantage of the generous donors we've had. While that point of view is certainly understandable, silence is not a good look for us. We must express our thoughts on the matter. Describing malicious or insidious intent to
You have the headphones that keep asking me about it?
All right, someone's speaking in the background. What's
Sorry.
While
My phone's
is certainly understandable, silence is not a good look for us. We must express our thoughts on the matter. Ascribing malicious or insidious intent to simple inexperience and unfamiliarity makes this community shit. I suppose to the values that make this community great, that I should be considered forever unwelcome. Again, we are sorry. We can do better in the future. Something like that.
What are your thoughts on that, man?
Sounds to me like they're ascribing it to just not knowing quite what they're doing. Which I imagine when you're trying to do any kind of charity, especially one as improvised as this, people are going to fuck up.
Truly, I mean, it was the blind leading the blind with no adult supervision.
Yeah, apparently one of the tweets that Hacks for Pancakes put out there sounded like somebody was name dropping her, and she got some flack for it, even though she's not really directly related to the InfoSec noobs. Other than I do think my understanding Hacks for Snacks did base his Twitter handle on Hacks for Pancakes.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, actually,
I wouldn't have done that.
he told me as much that he based it on that.
There's only one Irongeek.
Well, actually, no.
No, there's two.
On the handle.
All right, guys, what's up? Can you hear me?
Nothing much. Hey, any of you
Hey,
guys
hey.
went to the canceled party?
Yeah, man, I was there.
What? I was there playing my ukulele.
Yo, dude, I was the one who, when that guy in the kitchen fell down and hit his head, I was the one who kicked all of you guys out and was telling you, yo, the cops are coming. Go make sure you've done your shit. And, like, I organized people to start cleaning up. And, yeah, that was me.
I was there with Nick and Huck.
Yeah.
And Cholo. You know Cholo?
Yeah.
Cholo was freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, I was there with Sleep and a bunch of other people. I was there with Ill Will, my boy, having a good time until shit hits the fan.
What happened to that guy, though?
So he was in the kitchen, and we don't know exactly what happened. He's having a few drinks, the guy with the pink hair, and next thing we know, we hear a clonk. We think he had some kind of seizure. So go in, assess the situation, ask him if he's okay, ask him what day it is. He doesn't know. Dude doesn't know. We're all freaking out at this point. And yeah, so I'm actually in a hotel right now, getting ready to go back home because this has been one hell of a DEF CON. It ended up with me in the psych ward. So, I'm getting my shit back together right now. Anybody alive over there?
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not talking to myself.
How'd you end up in the psych ward again?
My roommate, Sleep, dude I hang out with, he was going through a rough time, and he called the hotel asking for help for himself, and then disappeared. And I went to go look after him. I go back in the room and lock the door, and then I had made some kind of tweet at Andrew Strutt saying I was gonna fuck around at his Telefreak party. And then the next thing I know, there's dudes trying to break down the goddamn door of the room that I'm in. Because my asshole friend left some kind of suicidal message with the front desk, left the room, left me in there, and now I'm there, and these assholes are trying to break down the door. I have no idea who they are. I thought maybe Strutt's got some kind of crew, but I should have known better. That's just the not sleeping thoughts, And I'm freaking out, and I barricade the door. I go into full ex-Marine mode, and I'm like, you're not getting in here till you show me an ID. And they're all like, we don't have to show you an ID. So I go, all right, don't show me an ID. You're not coming in. And I barricaded. When you used to play football, you put your leg up against the door, and when you're hitting the sled, right? So I just barricaded that shit with myself. And I was like, you guys ain't getting in here until somebody shows me an ID. And then finally, one of them fuckers, the actual sheriff's department came, because I called them. I reached for my phone, and I called up the sheriff's department, and I'm like, yo, this is some crazy stuff. I think people are trying to break into my room. I'm not sure if they're with the hotel or not, but I'm freaking out. At this point, they broke out a K-tool, and they cut the actual thing off the door up there. And the door, and they are trying to hit it open. But at this point, I barricaded even further. I took the freaking iron that's over by the door, and they wedged it right up in there. So no matter how hard they hit that door, they're just hitting the iron. And I sat there, waited for a while, tried to gather my thoughts on what I should do. And then the officer yelled in. He yelled me his badge number, and he's like, sir, what should we do? And I'm like, well, if you would like to come in here, I can remove the barricade. But you guys need to calm the fuck down and tell me why you're here in the first place. And he's like, well, we got a call about somebody in distress in this room. I'm like, well, I wasn't in distress until some people started knocking down the goddamn door. And they're like, well, we got a call that sounds kind of like somebody was suicidal or maybe like that they were having some kind of issues. And I'm like, I didn't have no issues like that. I was just, trying to pack up my friends' clothes because they're all, my buddies are like some of the messiest hackers on the planet. And they leave like their underwear in my bed after they hook up.
Oh,
And like, yeah. And
that's
like, so I go and I take a picture of my buddy's underwear and I post it on IllMob for the lulz. It says like, hey, my name's T-Cell. I am the world's greatest hacker, and my mommy sews my name into my underwear. And I take a picture of it, and I send it to IllMob. And then I got a little Facebook group we got, not the IRC channel. And then like 5 minutes later, Jethro comes running up while these assholes trying to break down the door. And he goes, yo, man, what the hell are you doing? And he's like, why are you doing this to me? And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about, man? You're off your kilter. And I'm like, you know what? Don't talk to me anymore until you get home and you get some sleep. And then I go and I let the cops in. But they're like, which one of you placed the call? And I'm like, I called the police because somebody's trying to break down the door. And they're like, well, who are you? And I'm like, my name's Frank Trezza. I'm one of the goons here at the con. And other than that, not much. Because I wasn't actually one of the goons, but I like to play goon. So I wore like the red shirt and the security stuff and was walking around as you do, pretending to be a goon, directing traffic. Because, for the lulz. And these fuckers, man, they grab me and they bring me down to like the holding area. And then the EMTs come, they assess me. And they're like, what are you doing here today? What were you planning on doing? And I go, I was going to go get chipped. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm like, my friend Nina runs the biohacking village. So I was going to go get a chip put in my hand today. And they're like, what are you talking about? Get a chip put in your hand. This guy's a fucking schizophrenic. And they grab me and they toss me in the ambulance. They bring me up to the hospital. They make me sit butt naked in front of a room of strangers for a bit. And then they go through the whole assessment, the psychosocial bullshit. I used to be a therapist, so like this is nothing for me. I know how to answer the questions. So I answer the questions correct, and they tell me, even though you're physically fine, we can't discharge you until you see a psychiatrist. And unfortunately, because right now you don't got insurance, thank you, Obama. No, thank you, fucking Trump. I don't have insurance. I got to wait till Wednesday to get the fuck out of here. So I go in the back, and I'm wearing my goon uniform. So I'm a resourceful motherfucker. So I go in the back, and I change, and I just got that green mohawk for the, what is it called? The not St. Baldrick's, but the Mohawk Con stuff. So my appearance right now is very different from what I normally look like. It's like, it's all messed up, but right? You see that shit? It's all fucked up. So I looked a bit retarded. So I went down and I snuck one of my security guard shirts in with me. And I had it in with like the double fucking things they give you. And I'm getting there and I'm like, I'm thinking I'm just going to walk out of here. I'm like a fake being a security guard and cut the fuck out. But then it hits me. Like, I used to be a fireman. And I would, if somebody did that to me, it could be my job. It could be any of these motherfuckers' jobs if somebody walks out of the psych ward and they don't notice it. Or if somebody, God forbid, puts on a security guard uniform, they all are going to get fired. And I'd be fine, but then I felt like a dick. So I said, you know what? I already had the shirt on. I took the shower, and I took the shorts they give you, and I turned them upside down and made them look like a pair of camo pants. And I walked out. The guy saw me. He's like, sir, what's the matter? Where's the gentleman who? No. So I said, it's me. I took off the shirt, tossed it over to him. I said, look, I'm just doing this to prove to you that I could have escaped out here at any time. So just letting you know that I'm a penetration tester. My job is to pen test shit. I do secure buildings for a living. This is my bread and butter. I'm number 2 in Tool, New York City. Like I could pick anything. So you can like toss me in here as long as you want. I'll sit and be compliant. But this is for your benefit. It's for your benefit that I'm doing this. I'm not doing this for me. I am going to sit here and kindly hang out until you guys can figure out where the hell a doctor that I can see is. And then finally, I talked to this dude. His name's Kevin, and he is able to get me. Like this dude Kevin works there, and I tell him, look, this is what I do for a living. This is bullshit. You know anybody on psych? He'll do a consult for free in the middle of the night. He's like, yeah, I know a guy. Wait. And then next thing I know, dude brings out this huge guy, Dr. Swallow. I think that was a fake name. Yeah, Dr. Swallow was the dude's name. I shit you not. And I talked to this Dr. Swallow for about 5 minutes. He asked me what I do for a living. I tell him I'm a penetration tester and I am an information security analyst. And he goes, okay, well, tell me why you were barricading yourself behind the door. And I say, imagine you're woken up out of a sound sleep at 3 a.m. and people are trying to break down your door and you've just been reading the Red Team framework and there's a whole section in there on like how to secure an area. What would you do?
Oh, dude.
Right? So I barricaded the door and he said, okay, that's reasonable to me. And then I go, all right, dude, so I think I'm in the right here. And I explained my whole situation to this Dr. Swallow. The dude is nice as hell. He goes, look, you got any family in town? And I did technically have family in town. My asshole older brother was here for the stupid conference that you got to pay all the money for that me and all the ill mob boys get into for free. So he was there. So I was like, fuck, my brother Rich is in town. He'll come pick me up. They call him. He comes down. They release me right out. They're like, sorry for the big misunderstanding, whatever. And I'm out. And but now my family's all freaked out. So they don't want me to take the plane home like I was going to. They rent a goddamn RV, and they want to go cross country with me, like to drive my ass home. But I'm scheduled to do a pen test in the morning.
Drop table users. Nope. Nope.
Yeah, man. I'm scheduled to do a pen test in the morning. So now I'm driving down the highway with my family on my Android tablet because my brother, in his infinite wisdom, sat his fat ass down on my Dell and broke the screen. So I got an Android tablet up, latched to the back of the screen, the back of like the, what the hell I call that, the seat. And I'm sitting there with my little Bluetooth keyboard, logged into my VPS using Juice SSH, trying to pop shells at a data center on Long Island, all the way from wherever the hell we are. I think we were in Utah, and then we were in like Colorado. Now we're at like, I don't even know what we're taking a plane home at this point. I told them, this is some bullshit. I have been fine this whole time, and you guys need to lighten the fuck up. But they made the mistake with my mental health. Like when I was a kid, I had bipolar disorder. I haven't had that shit for years. But every time you get my mom involved in my treatment, it goes to shit. So my brother decided to call my mom, and she goes, oh no, Frank won't be stable enough to fly on an airplane. Cancel his reservation for him without his consent, and you're going to drive him home. So my poor wife, who was in California at the time, had to go and get like she had to go get a van, a rental, because she was at her best friend's bachelorette party. She drove like all night through the desert with that really ominous sounding name, and she like had a partial flat tire along the way, and just like anything that happened to my wife during this, then I'd really be mad at my friend. But since she's okay, and this is really just an understanding where he's concerned, like he's a good dude. Now, I'm a little bit pissed at him for putting me in this situation, but I can understand it. I've been there. I've been at rock bottom. So I'm not like, hey guys, go hack my friend because he betrayed me or some such nonsense. In fact, if any of these motherfuckers go out and lay one hand on his head, I'm gonna go lay down a beat down on them. But I digress. I am now standing in the airport with my wife looking at me with a horrified little look on her face, like she's so worried. She's cute though, isn't she? Little Mermaid shirt. And I'm here. I'm fine, and I'm going home, and I'm gonna kick ass at the rest of my pen test. Because even with the shit that I did, I already got 3 shells in the car, in the road on the side of the road in Utah, and I will be good. And that's all I have to say about that.
All right. Well, thanks for the story. Shit.
No problem.
Luckily, I've had only one person try to break down my door. But what you got, friendly? What dish?
Nothing. I just missed most of the story. That's all. So hi, just saying hi.
Hola.
Wine later on. It's being recorded, so you know.
Okay.
So yeah, it was quite the DEF CON, you know.
Yeah, mine was not nearly that eventful. I spent some time to help teach a class at Black Hat, then went to the mini mansion and hung out at the pool. Got late on a fish because certain details weren't working. Finally got the fish off yesterday. Fairly successful, though no shells.
Nice.
What else is going on?
Well, I mean, anybody do anything interesting this DEF CON? Anybody check out that cable tap talk? That shit was pretty cool.
I don't know, but I broke in as a bike messenger in DEF CON. If you saw somebody with an Intel shirt with a bike shirt, that was me in a backpack. I told them I work for Postmates.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. I went to the Darknet party. I solved the challenge. You guys do that one?
Yeah, man. You know how you solved the challenge for the Darknet party? Well,
Yeah.
every now and then, every year, there aren't enough people who solve that challenge. So they call a few of us to make sure that when you get there, somebody will actually be there at the door, and it won't just end up like that episode when Sheldon Cooper wanted the girlfriend and did that whole puzzle, that elaborate ass puzzle to try and get a girlfriend, and like one girl showed up at the door 5 minutes after, and then he slammed the door in her face because she was too late.
Yeah.
Yes. So we were already there, just hanging out, because we don't need to solve the puzzle when you know the guy who made it, but still, very cool, man. Glad you were able to figure it out.
I was there with Hook on X-Knob.
Awesome. Well, I was there with Ill Will, and
Oh yeah, I met Il. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah, isn't he one sexy motherfucking beast?
Yeah. Hey, I also went to QueerCon. You guys did that one too, the pool party? It was really fun.
I didn't do QueerCon, but Ill Will did it quite a bit. Every time I'd ask him where he was at, he's like, I'm at QueerCon. I'm like, are you queer, man? Because you're going to the QueerCon an awful lot. I went to the duo.
There were a lot of sexy straight ladies there for sure. I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah. I went to the duo party. That was some cool shit. I found a nice little area when you go up by the stairs. If you walk in there and you got like a main DJ booth, and it's like hot and like very cramped, but you walk up the stairs by where the other DJ is at, and you hang a left by where the bathroom was, and there was this whole nice hangout area. And that's where me and a bunch of people were hanging out. And we're hanging out up there, and some dude, for some reason, goes, hey, I recognize you. You're a Fed to me. And it's like, I'm not a Fed, but I work with a whole bunch of Feds. And guess what? A lot of people dislike Feds. I got nothing against them, as long as they ain't fucking with me. So I got a bunch of badges in my pocket right now for different federal agencies. Because before I stopped for DEF CON this year, I went to the Army Navy store. And I pick up some I can pick up some presents for my friends, right? So like with Jason Street, I give him a couple of random little security guard badges. And with David Kennedy, I like to give him a little Marine Corps badge. And with a couple other guys, like with Travis Goodspeed, I was going to give him some watches that had that same chipset in it as the I'm Me, that thing that Camcar used for Open Sesame.
Yeah, to open the door.
Yeah.
The
So that was the plan. I was going to give them to him.
What?
So,
you got that? Wait. Where did you?
I got two more of them at home, so I can still do this. But what's happening, I was teaching a bunch of the new kids over at the back when they were doing that movie night, when they were supposed to show hackers, but instead of showing hackers, they showed sneakers and had that old dude there who kept pausing sneakers and like talking about random stuff that none of us cared about because we were just all there for hackers. And I was hanging out there with some girl who I met earlier, really cool chick. She her name was Lisa, and she works over at that same company that like Snowden and all of them contracted out of. I forgot the name of it now, but Booz Allen Hamilton. Yeah, she just got a pen test lead job there, and she was like the shit, like nicest lady, and she dealt with my shit when I went to go get some dinner at that little restaurant, the buffet. I go and stop there to eat, and there's like a line out the door, but they have a sign that says you can cut the line for an extra $25. So I'm like, all right, I'll cut the fucking line. I'll pay the $25. No skin off my nose, right? So I walk in, I get my shit, I'm eating my food, I'm sitting with this girl, Lisa, who I'd seen earlier in the day. She was pretty nice. And then Snooty McSnoot manager comes over, and he's like, you do not pay for this food, sir. You need to leave. And I go, I absolutely have every intention of paying for this food. He's like, well, you cut the line, and we don't like your kind here. And I'm like, you mean white? Because what? And I think he was referring to the stupid ass green mohawk that I got earlier that day and the goddamn thing in the basement, which raised a couple of grand for the EFF boys, because it was like a joke for a bunch of people to watch me do that. So they donated some money. And then like I went and played Hack Fortress after that. But that is completely digressing from the whole storyline. And my finger is covering up the camera. But yeah, so I had like
Well, I
was
also did Caesar's Cipher. You guys solved that one? And the Illuminati party?
Yeah, I had the answer to that texted to me by 4 different people. And I was like, I could have spent a whole bunch of time at my DEF CON trying to solve this stupid Caesar cipher, or I wait until one of you assholes solves it and then texts it to me anyway. So instead of the latter, I just waited for a text message, and then instead of going to that party, I ended up going to the mucking mental hospital anyway, which is probably in a better group of company than those guys who were at that party anyway.
Well, we guys circle back, and we may go back to the noob stuff in a bit, but we have 2 other people who attended DEF CON this year. I want to get their opinions on what things they enjoyed. So let's go ahead and we'll do ladies first before geckos, and we'll ask Hot Dish what she thought.
Oh shit, Adrian! Why you got to get me involved in all your shit?
I don't know.
Adrian, are you doing that shit stuff with girls again, man? I heard you were done with that. The whole German scat dungeon porn thing.
Nah, that's not what we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Stop. What? Oh man.
What did you enjoy about DEF CON this year? You got to give your talk. You gave a talk on
yes.
they use maps for themselves.
Okay. So I talked about child abuse material. I did a.
Who are we talking to now? I only see the word friendly up there.
That's who you're talking to. Very, very friendly. That's me. Don't get very, very concerned.
Are you friendly?
I am friendly. Very,
I
very
only
friendly.
like friendly people around these parts. If you ain't friendly.
Okay, well, stop talking. It's my turn. Quiet. So, yeah, I did talk. It was great. I had fun. I wandered around a lot. I met some people from the internet that were fantastic that I known for years, and that was amazing. What else? Let's see here. I really enjoyed just sort of wandering around. I myself, TX, and a bunch of people, including this guy we know, ran around giving fortunes to people, which we got various reactions to. Some people looked really freaked out. Some people really enjoyed it. What else? I don't know. I didn't really go to any of the talks, though. Looking back on it, I actually didn't really do anything related to DEF CON. I just sort of wandered.
This is the only talk I went to.
What's that?
This was the only talk I actually went to, but I've been doing that for the last couple of DEF CONs. where I might go to one friend's talk or something. I missed Brent's talk, and I really wish I hadn't missed it because I feel like I didn't know what time it was, or at least I didn't pay attention when I was told what time it was. I should have showed up for that. You guys.
There was maybe one or two talks that I kind of wish I had seen, but I'm learning. Well, I've learned that you just kind of have to make the plan and do it for sure. It's really easy to get sidetracked. People, of course, TX included, had told me, yeah, you get sidetracked and, da-da-da. And I didn't realize just how badly you do. We basically just wandered around and breathed in 12 packs of cigarettes in lieu of secondhand smoke for the past, 7 days. That's why my voice is really rough sounding. But to answer your question, Adrian, I had a good time, had a good talk. I got a lot of good feedback about my talk from people. Didn't really expect some of the sad stories coming out afterwards, but other than that, like people that are adult victims of child abuse. So I wasn't really expecting that, but in the end, it all worked out. So yeah, I had a great time. It was amazing. And B-sides, I actually enjoyed B-sides a little bit more for some reason. I think it's the surroundings. Like I like the hotel quite a bit. I feel more comfortable at the Tuscany than I do at Caesars. Maybe it's just trees and rocks and stuff because I'm kind of a wild-natured weirdo. So I prefer to be able to be outside the trees and stuff. So I don't know. I think Caesars was a little high-end and polished for me. So I actually enjoyed B-sides a little bit more, and I think I had a chance to talk to more people that I found interesting at B-sides. Probably because it was smaller, less traffic flow, so on and so forth. And that's it.
Okay. What was it about the venue, man? This seemed like the food was expensive. My buddy Ben, he saw that I was head of the line at what the hell is that place for? Smash Burger. He told me, all right, get me a hamburger. And by hamburger, he literally meant bun, hamburger, bun, and a drink. And they were like $14.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah, the prices of everything in Caesars was really expensive.
Yeah, I ended up getting nachos there once. That's about the most expensive. That's about all I ate there. That wasn't paid for by part of the company, which reminds me I need to do my expenses. Oh, okay, so that brings me to Gecko. Gecko, what did you enjoy? What was your thoughts on DEF CON this year? Oh, the whole Hacker Summer Camp.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I had a blast. Normally in DEF CON, previous years, I've kind of wandered around, gone to a few talks, and I've never really been that great at socializing and just been felt kind of meh afterwards. This year, though, I avoided most of the talks because they're all on YouTube anyway. And I just went around villages. I talked to a lot more people and the parties. So this year I brought a bunch of printouts of a picture of Cyberpunk Putin with the message "Hack the planet" on the bottom.
Oh yeah, you gave me one of those.
Yeah, I just kept handing them out to people. It's a great way to start conversations and to. I'll be entirely honest. I was initially worried that there was going to be some Fed who was going to start being suspicious and maybe I'm a Russian spy. But I got the literal opposite. I got a very passionate nationalist talk to me about how much he loved Putin. So that was unexpected, but memorable. I have to say I probably like between the two, I would say I probably enjoyed Caesars more than Tuscany. Partly because I drank unfortunately drank a little bit of the pool water at the Tuscany, and that. As far as talks go, Tuscany was nice. B-sides was nice, but it's probably had a chance. I didn't get to speak as many people as last year. Caesars, I probably attended like 5 or 6 parties. So I loved it. Let's see. Also participated in the Social Engineering Village's Mission SE Impossible, which...
anybody go to those?
I think TXVB was there. He was also participating. That's actually how I met him.
Yeah, sure.
No, I'm sorry, not TXVB, my bad. It was sorry, I mixed him up with Dash Show. Dash Show.
Yeah, Dash Show. Wouldn't have been. It wasn't TX. It was Dash.
Yeah, I don't know why I mixed it up in my mind.
Did you meet? Did you meet me or myself or TX? Because sometimes I met people and they didn't give me their names or anything. Just.
Hi, my name is Shitlord. It is wonderful to meet you. Your name's also Shitlord, but we will get along just fine.
As far as the parties go, um, Freemasons really need to work on it. The Illuminati party was just a little bit creepy. I'm
Yeah,
sure if a little bit more theatrics, it could be more fun, but it was just
well,
Freemasons on the second floor looking down on people.
If you guys had been fortunate enough to know my buddy Ben Payne, you could have come to his birthday party, which was the shit. But none of you know him, so none of you could come.
Yeah.
We had a
Yeah,
limo.
how that works out.
Had like a limo take us to this nice ass place, drinking some booze, hacking some things. You know, you guys got to make some better friends.
Yeah, I have no friends. It's true.
Yeah, neither do I. It's
Yeah.
just like people like, hey, you're going to come to this party? I'm like, okay, I got some booze. I'm gonna bring the booze, and we're gonna go to the party.
That sounds
I
like
have
it
a
would be
few
fun.
friends.
I think the only thing I missed was a human zoo party because I was too busy waiting for someone to arrive with the Mr. Robot badge. I ended up buying off of him. I was over at
Those
DC.
guys, those guys are all fads, anyways. You know, like they're not worth hanging around, anyways. You know, really, if it gets right down to it, I mean, you want to party with fads, or you want to party with real people.
The way I see it, every party must have parties filled with feds.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not just worry about feds anyway. I mean,
I know, right?
Unless you're doing something illegal, what the fuck?
Right. Well, I mean, look,
exactly.
To be completely honest, there are some damn cool feds that go to DEF CON. Like, I am not a fed,
absolutely.
But Mick is a fed, and so is Andrew. Those dudes rock the shit, man. If those two motherfuckers weren't there, a lot of bad shit would have happened this year. So you can bitch all you want about feds being at your InfoSec conference, but the truth of the matter is, if those feds ain't there and something bad happens, the only people who are going to be accountable, and when the hotel sues those people, are going to be like the organizers.
Yo, Frank. Yeah, but whatever. It's definitely FedCon week. It was Fed Hat, and then B-sides was the only thing I think it was cool. And then DEF CON is definitely, but the thing is, it's not the same thing. You can't do I spotted 36 feds. You can't play Spot the Fed, and shit like that anymore. It's not the same thing. It's very fucking corporate, and everybody's a fucking dick.
I was totally joking too, right? Like, it's wild the way I joke about this shit.
I was unaware that you were joking. I was
totally joking.
No sense of humor.
It's cool. It's right on.
It's been a bit of an adjustment period for me. I grew up IRC in the 90s and 2000s, where pretty much the feds might as well have, to the feds, it might as well have been what demons were to evangelicals. It was, they were the things of nightmares. So growing up, realized, no, it's not the case, but it's still kind of hard to get over that kind of instinctual fear. And so, yeah, it's a bit of an adjustment period there. As far as,
I can totally appreciate that, though. I can totally appreciate that, Gecko. I can.
Oh, thank you. As far as broader DEF CON, my understanding is that there have been incidents in the past. I believe in DEF CON 9, one of the speakers had given a talk on how to circumvent some DMCA protections, and right afterwards the FBI arrested him. Other things.
Question guy too, wasn't it?
So you guys are not talking about the coolest talk that I saw at DEF CON. Cable tap, man. Did any of you catch that shit?
No, I got my own Rampart A running out of my backyard. I'm good. We're cool.
So, cable tap was this dude Grayson Lava Lamp is I think his real name, or vice versa, and a bunch of other dudes. Logan something. That's the same dude did another good talk last year I liked. He made some other cool shit. But long story short, they built a framework that you can use to hack into cable modems and discovered 30 different CVEs in residential cable modems, many of which have still not been patched. And there's one talk you should really go watch if you're an InfoSec.
What's it called?
Dude.
What's the framework's name?
I have no idea, man. Go look up the slides.
Yeah, well, that kind of leads into the next topic.
Well, go. Then I like next topics.
I want to talk about next topic.
Yeah.
The failure of infosec industry more obvious with each year of conference. This is your thing, TXV. So I'll let you
Yeah. Basically, I mean, you look at our industry and you look at the events, Black Hat and whatnot, and they're very targeted to big enterprises, while ignoring most of the devices on the internet. Like you said, the cable modems, home users, small business, medium business.
Exactly.
Most of the crap and shit we have does not scale down or is even affordable for small, medium businesses who need the same level of protection as we do. And that's where the bad guys are going, and they're making
Yeah, and that's the
mad
thing.
money.
Like once you start collecting nodes, and then you do your big attack, there's no way they're gonna find the person who's doing it.
Right, and we're doing nothing, really
It does
nothing.
remind me, Alan Freeman of the NTAA had been talking to people about something he essentially was tasked to do after the recent cybersecurity executive order. He's going to try to propose solutions to essentially Internet of Things botnets to try to bring them back down to the background noise of the internet that DDoS used to be.
Right.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. I think it's awesome to try, but good luck. Go ahead.
So, well, yeah, no, briefly, he mentioned a few things off the top of his head that people had suggested to him. They ranged from probably not going to work to that would be horrifying to even attempt. One of the horrifying examples was have every single home router essentially try to analyze every single type of traffic that it sends out and send all that data to a third-party server, who would then send signatures back. I would send responses back to see essentially how the traffic should be treated. So that's I don't see that as being particularly effective, as that's just an arms race.
It just creates another loop, right? It just creates another loop of more data going back, and I mean,
yeah,
sounds inefficient to me. But I think TX was saying something.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the recent announcement by FedEx's partner, where they said the data's gone, we're screwed. We're never getting it back. The ransomware's destroyed everything. And they're a smaller business, and same thing. They cannot recover. They cannot meet the compliance requirements. And auditing being what it is, you know how to play the game. You set the scope in such a way that you pass the audit, and you may or may not actually be having everything protected.
Yeah. What's that company called? I know it's in Ukraine, TCT or TCM or can't remember.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at the tools and you look at Black Hat and you look at what the vendors are talking about, and and I'm call all the major firewall vendors, all the major AV vendors.
Yeah.
Basically you're either using the shitty home stuff, or you're using their shitty corporate stuff.
There's a happy middle ground, though. So look,
or you're pawning the shit out of it.
Right. Well, but again, we're talking about anywhere from a 20 to say a 500 user company. There is not really a happy middle ground where they can have the staff to maintain anything.
I disagree.
Okay.
So the company I work for, we are an MSSP. So we are a staff of like 30 people, and we deploy and build all our own shit. So when you say there's no happy middle ground, there is a happy middle ground.
Well, you're a little different as an MSSP.
Your company is not obviously going to represent the average.
Right.
I mean,
you're not like the average.
You're there, Frank, and you probably have probably a fairly good base of knowledge, and you assist that company.
Yeah,
to
you might not
keep your network safe.
You're not an insurance company of 50 people, a legal firm of 50 people. An MSSP has a very different technical skill level than the other companies that are getting ignored and have no hope of being secure.
And the thing with that, TX, is like me and you talk about this, and I had a good talk with Alex Hutton. That's why one of the reasons I enjoyed B-Side, I had a great talk with people about exactly this. you know, like organized crime, they are definitely obfuscating. Well, after the fact, the fact is that they're using basically buckshot to hit the middle ground, and they're doing more hits and less money for each hit. But overall, it adds up to a fuck ton of money. And then they're taking that money and they're reinvesting that back into bigger hits, one-timers. So, I mean, everybody, all these InfoSec companies and security companies running around trying to, you know, more and more automation, you know, the mystery of the machine will keep you safe. They're losing sight of the fact that the majority of the money is coming from the middle ground, and then the hits on their, you know, their sacred Fortune 500s are coming from the reinvestment from the money that is made hitting the middle ground. So residential people, small, medium businesses like TX says. And I don't see anybody giving a fuck about that because there's no money in that right now. And by the time they start
Well,
giving,
also, there's a lack of reverse engineers on
there is.
basically on the white
100%.
hat, on the white hat side, because all the black hat
Yeah.
people are basically, you know, they're just, you know, exploiting the fuck out of shit. Reverse engineering.
I would
stuff.
actually like to have a bit of a word about that, because
Yeah.
I'm part of a group called Black Hat as Fuck. And just because we have that name doesn't mean that we don't do good deeds. Like, we may be
Yeah,
calling
well, I mean,
ourselves Black Hats,
all
right? But when
all
it
kinds
comes
of
down
shit.
to it,
I don't know. I
we
grew
help
up with
out a
Black
lot more
Hat was-
people.
Go ahead. Sorry, go
So,
ahead.
like, everybody likes to get hung up on this whole media bullshit of white hat back versus black hat.
I don't.
And when I was, no, it's a big thing. It's like, oh, the white hat hackers will protect you, but the black hat ones will steal your mother's purse from out of her grave, or like they're the worst people in the world. But it's stigma, man. Just like in mental health, there's stigma. In our industry, we got a problem with some stigma going here.
No, there's people that are straight up criminals, dude. Like, there's straight up
It's a matter
criminals.
of definitions here.
Yeah.
I think it's
It
how you
doesn't
define
matter
what black hat
Yeah.
means.
whatever hat you throw on, but it's your behavior. It's not
Right.
it's not the flag you stick on your head, it's your behavior.
And I agree with you there. So your actions say more than your words. So if you're saying it's your behavior, right? And whoa, something went out with my audio. Have I been cut off?
It was me. I did it.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Oh no, Frankie's been hacked by Friendly. Oh no, that wasn't very friendly.
I just put on my black hat for a millisecond, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It's that black hat. It gets all the magics inside the hat. Like
Right.
like I made a badge for Adrian, right?
Yeah.
And it says that he
Okay.
is a shitlord.
Yeah, but you know, ignoring the terminology, because that's not really important. What as an industry are we going to do to fix this problem? Because we have about half of the business GDP here in the United States that is just sitting there waiting for the next big attack to wipe them out.
Well, we're in a position where we sell software with you have product cycles of maybe once every 1 or 2 years, but people keep the hardware for 8 or 9 or 10 years, like Josh Corman was saying in his keynote.
But even on the software side, these small businesses can run longer than that, and they do. They don't care if it's in support or not. It works.
Right. I mean,
They have nothing to mitigate.
Because oftentimes security has in the past, and sometimes at present, been functionally identical to a denial of service attack.
Yeah.
If you disable access to resources, doesn't matter if it's from the good guys or the bad guys, you can't do your damn job.
Right, but that's my point, is what are we doing to protect these companies that don't have the skills, don't have the budget, and can't buy the checkpoints, Palo Alto, Cisco stuff?
All right, and I am glad you asked that question. So,
We let them drown.
no, we do not.
Currently, that's what we're doing. We're letting them drown.
Well, maybe you're letting them drown, but I certainly aren't. So I contribute to a whole bunch of open source frameworks that are geared
Me
towards
too.
small, medium businesses to help them fix these gaps in their infrastructure. We have everything from the DDWRT project to the OpenWRT.
Sure.
You can take your shitty little Linksys router that you bought at the store for $30.
Yeah,
Or
you
Goodwill for
but-
$3.
Hang on. But, is a lawyer firm with 25 lawyers in it and
Aware of
maybe a
that.
part-time tech guy going to be able to do this? That's the problem. We've
Exactly.
got
All
some
right,
solutions.
so wait,
No.
They
Also,
don't scale.
the
you
column is
can
the search.
have. Oh, go ahead.
They're not
The big
usable.
problem is the certs, dude. The big problem is the certs because a lot of people get these certs. Yes, they go through the HR firewall, but when it comes to applying the skills, not all of them got them. I'll say 40% of people who get their certs have the skills. Or the other 60 just dance around it. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Well, as far as what I'm doing, I'm working on something I hope to, if it works out well, will hopefully become a web standard. Should hopefully mitigate phishing, the threat of phishing. So,
Interesting.
So wait,
Have you
you're
seen
working on
Goldfish?
something that's going to mitigate
Not
phishing.
gonna happen.
So that you're going to solve that
specifically
problem
web forms.
when No Before, who's got
I'm
Kevin
hoping
Mitnick
to solve a
and
specific form of it.
everybody else who's trying to do the same thing. You got the answer though, so I want to hear it, how this answer is going to work because I'm super excited. I have been hating phishing for so long in my industry. So if you got the answer, man, tell me. I want to hear it.
Yeah, this is exciting.
This
I
is
want
one
to
of those things where I'd be more than happy to tell you all in a non-recorded DM. You'll hear, mainly because if I say it, I'm pretty sure I'd get fished as fuck.
Yeah. So like, okay.
Fine, fucking fine. God damn it. I don't know. I'm a paranoid person.
So I've got this purple elephant.
So machine
I'd be
learning.
happy to tell you about it, but it would have to be in a private message.
The big thing these
Whether
days
the
with machine
audio is
learning,
recorded or we, screenshot your chats, which I know you're fond of, it makes no difference. No one, just general oversight would be cool.
So how do we stop the phishing problem?
Part later.
Anyway, do it from a high level perspective.
One of the big things.
Man.
You want me to answer or no? You want me to answer or no?
I would love you to answer.
One of the big things advances these days in machine learning is image recognition. Mm-hmm. The big thing with phishing is you have something that may look like Gmail, that may look like my OWA, but it has a different URL.
Okay.
So why can't image recognition be used to try and analyze login forms?
So you're talking about.
Wait! I got this one because these guys took me out to dinner the other night. So Polarity, right? Already built this product. They made this thing that does exactly what you're talking about. It OCRs your screen whenever you're looking at it, throws that stuff into a database. They actually used to be called Breach Intelligence. Very smart guys, and this product already exists. The problem with getting it is it costs money, and those small medium businesses that you were referring to that need this help are not going to be able to afford Polarity.
Well, I don't just mean OCR, but like I originally said, if something that works, then I would, if it works, if it's low power enough, I don't know, maybe it's a bit of a naive of me, but maybe try to make it a W3C standard. Make it a web browsing standard. Because then that would be in the reach of everyone.
So if you really want to make a difference in reducing the overall amount of spam and crap and all this stuff that your users are accustomed to every day, you should be doing what the boys over at Anubis Networks are doing, which is they are finding these malicious sites and they are blackholing them into oblivion through a whole complicated procedure, which I'm not going to get into, but essentially a lot of this crap is actually hosted on Tor. So they control enough of the Tor exit nodes that when people go and request this stuff on the Tor network, it gets blackholed into the Anubis sinkhole. And then it's never heard from again.
Your voice went really soft.
Oh, that's because I'm a pussy. Sorry. So it gets blackholed into the Anubis sinkhole.
Comment of the night. Thank you. Goodbye.
All right. So, yeah, that helps, but it's just a big cat and mouse game, and that I don't know. I like more of. I try to think more in terms of framework of trying to prevent an attack before it happens. It can happen.
Look, we can make a billion different frameworks, man. We can make frameworks until like we're sitting in meetings all day doing nothing but making frameworks, or we can just train the users. When you see an email and it says it's gmailer.com and you won $100, you don't click that email.
Well, when the
studies have shown that'll only get about 60% of it at best. There are 30% of users, in my experience, that will click on anything no matter how much training you give. And so we need to do something about that.
I've seen some fishes.
Well, very interesting point you make, because there's the
the whole know before thing that they do. I don't know if you're familiar with that company. Them and FishMe do this user phishing for a living. And what they do is they provide a report to the CEO on all the users who clicked the link that should not be clicked. And the CEO then, at his discretion, can maybe opt for better training for those people,
It's so
or
awesome
maybe
how
If you're
Well-
trying to tell a lawyer that's billing out at $300 an hour that he's got to go off to do training, it's never going to happen.
Oh,
Right.
hell no. Oh, fuck
Well-
no, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I know
Well,
that.
let me tell you a little story
Fucking
about. No.
lawyer.
I hear you now.
We've been
'cause
complaining
I've had
about
the
having
same
to
issue,
train
right?
people and how training doesn't work for decades. I don't think more training, more of the thing that has not worked for decades, is going to fix the problem.
Yes, we need to attach fucking shock collars to them, and when they click those emails, we got to push the button. No, but I'm serious. I don't. There is a better way to do this. It's just the training. The methods we've been using for training suck. Go into this boring ass meeting for an hour that you don't want to be at, right? And watch this fucking PowerPoint presentation from 1986.
No, but there's also the issue, the very relevant issue that the mechanisms by which phishing is successful continuously change. It is a animal that is an art form. It is not necessarily. It's like all
Well,
crime.
As one
It's
of
like
these,
all crime.
as
It
one of-
learns.
as one of,
Criminals learn from people that are trying to mitigate their crime. They will learn probably more than the people that are trying to protect. So criminals will, learn from all of the things, fish me, all of those things. They will learn from it all, and they will adapt accordingly. The problem is that of course they are leaps and bounds ahead of you or anyone else, and even policing globally, because they know this, that if they continually change and shift the way that they commit their criminal acts, they will be fine. And they're also, just like the thing is that most of the crime online, as I was saying earlier today on my timeline, is mirrored in real life. So there's no major change about how criminals commit crime on the internet just because it's virtual. They do exactly the same thing they do with all manner of crime in IRL, in meat space, that they do on the internet. They just continually shift. They, for example,
And don't forget basically the PI element of it when criminals are looking for snitches and shit too.
right?
Oh yeah, criminals are looking for any information they can possibly find, and they're also looking for people to get data from, especially people that are, I don't know. Is there a difference between a snitch and somebody who informs on bad guys? Yeah. Is there people that get paid to find fucking criminals and turn them in? Yeah. A snitch is somebody who turns in friends and pretends to be their bro. To me, a snitch is a piece of shit, and I'm not a snitch.
Thank you. 100% right there. If
Yeah,
you turn in your friends, you are a snitch.
Yeah, and I don't.
That should be the very definition of the word. Like, somebody should go to Encyclopedia Dramatica right now and add that into the entry.
Well, it's like I said.
No, that would be Urban Dictionary, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, but it's not arbitrary.
I'm an old person.
It's not an arbitrary distinction in my case. A snitch is a person who fabricates a persona, who goes in.
Then again, here we go. Not friends. Let's say people, good people trying to put bad guys away.
Sorry, you lost you.
I'm saying let's not use that word, because I guess you guys are right. I hate snitches too, but
no, we're not always right though. Like I won't go after hackers. I only go after people that steal money. People that steal money, and if they happen to be hackers too, great. Like whatever. I don't do things where I get close to people and then fuck them over. If there's a warrant for somebody who's done some shit, then maybe that'll happen. But a snitch is somebody who's a piece of shit. He's got no relationship with police. He's just the guy who's looking to make a quick buck. Or informants and snitches, they're losers.
No, it's a whole lot more delicate than that. A snitch essentially is the motherfucker that's right there with you doing the shit. He gets caught, you get away, and he's sitting in a box, and he's like, you know what? My buddy's coming with me, and I'm going to get the lighter deal. So I'm going to go ahead and inform.
Yeah, that's
interesting.
My question is,
because to me, my definition of a snitch would be Adrian Lamo.
Yeah,
that'd just be my example.
Yeah, thank you. That's exactly it. Someone
we
like
kind of gotten off in the weeds here. The original topic was how do we protect small businesses and debating.
Now
all right.
So let me tell you, a multiple prong approach.
Okay, so as part of a multiple part approach, if you want to protect a small business, one of the first things you should do is get a proper patch management program in place. It doesn't cost
Okay,
no.
but now
It
we're
doesn't
back.
cost a
Yeah,
lot of money.
I agree. I agree there with you.
Sure.
But then you have to spin up a budget, and it's like,
And have staff to maintain it. And if you're a
All
25
right.
person
So now we're going, and we're going to circle
dental
jerk.
place.
Any recommendation that's made, you guys are going to tear down over money
I'm not.
or
I'm
the
not.
amount of people.
I'm
So
just
let's-
telling
It's not a
you from
tear
working
down.
for a
Yeah,
medium-sized business.
Look.
When I tried to spin up a patch management program, a site, and I fucking hate that word, but a security education program, and the motherfuckers looked at me and said, "Hey, we don't have the budget for that, and good luck."
Yeah.
Well, it comes
So
back
that's
to
the
if you're
reality.
spending more on
Still-
coffee than you're spending on InfoSec, you're going to get owned.
Well, that's okay.
It's not a
that's
tear,
easy for
it's
you
not
to
tear
say.
down, it's reality.
But when you have a 25 person, say, dental office, and they're dealing with HIPAA and PII, and most of the time they don't know how to deal with this stuff, and they don't have the staff to do it, and they're not going to have a patch management program, because the tools we have don't scale down. They're not user friendly. They don't scale down enough where they're usable by a small company. There's a lot of really great tools.
But from this
they don't work
conversation
for
that we're
small, medium
having now, we're going to go down one or two routes. We're going to say, okay, so we have to take rights away from all the users, and then we're going to have a whole bunch of us argue that you can't take rights away from the users because they need to do their job. Or we're going to argue that we have to replace the small, medium business with some other thing that can do the same function. And in either argument, we're not going to come to a resolution because these are problems that people have been trying to solve since the beginning of IT. And a bunch of shitlords on the phone in the middle of the week talking, well, one of them being at an airport, I don't think we're going to solve this problem right now. Maybe we should table this and come back to it at another time.
That doesn't mean we can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Here's the thing. Okay, so we've agreed that the tools we have don't work, and that's my point. You can't get a Cylance for small business. You can't get the equivalent of, McAfee Enterprise for small business.
Silence sucks.
Well, I'm just throwing names out. It doesn't matter. I'm not endorsing or ripping on anything.
Just to be clear here, the threat model, the scenario we're trying to argue about is
Exact
law
Langer's
firm,
pretty
25
cool.
people,
sure,
half-time IT guy versus ransomware.
Right.
The scenario towards okay.
Sure, ransomware.
Did McAfee do jack shit against NotPetya?
Nope.
No, but McAfee's rolling
Then
over in the
McAfee
money
is a
right
more
now because of
successful.
MGTI. You know what McAfee's been doing through all this shit? He's sitting at his new business called MGTI, and all they do is mine Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, all that shit. They mine it, and they don't invest in the market. They don't care. They mine it
talking
and
about
keep
the
it.
antivirus, not the crazy guy.
Right.
No. The
crazy guy.
antivirus company is now owned by Intel.
Intel, yep.
Intel, and it's now Intel Security.
Okay.
But they still keep the McAfee name.
Yeah. Now it's just like you had brought up McAfee, so I was gonna just mention that.
Yes, the antivirus.
But yeah, I get off topic. So
someone else about
Felix, if I get off topic, feel free to say, Frank, shut the fuck up.
Hey, Frank. Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah.
Not bad, not bad. Okay, floor back to TX.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of even a small, medium business having a decent stateful inspection firewall of some type is pretty much outside the realm of reality.
That's why small, medium businesses need companies, not particularly my company, but companies that are out there that do security as a service.
And here's the fucked up thing about that. Back in 2011, there was an add-on for Smoothwall. That shit fucking worked aces, and it was essentially an IPS IDS for Smoothwall, and that shit worked fine. The problem is around 2014 or so, the tool became unsupported, and I think it's dead.
So resurrect
It's going to
it
be an
and make it work
interesting
again.
dynamic for IoT. What are you going to do when your person who makes your front door goes out of business?
Well,
your doorbell needs to be patched, but no one's making the patch anymore.
Well, that's when I take it apart, figure out how it works, and then I fix it, and then I sell that fix to everybody else who wants a fix.
So maybe this is just me, but I don't really see Internet of Things stuff really heavily marketed for use specifically by the extremely tech savvy. It's typically marketed towards a very different demographic. But maybe I'm just looking at the wrong places. Has this been an experience of everyone else?
Always looking for love in the wrong places.
Okay. You typically see it marketed more towards particularly rich people or like well-off people, or in the case of Amazon Echo, and Alexa, anyone's a Pulse. So if you're talking, so I mean, it's your
So look,
doorbell,
it
your
comes
doorbell
down to
breaks, then you're not going to get, most you'll have are not going to be able to fix it. They're not going to disassemble that damn thing.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's why everybody should start learning Arduino right now. Trying to learn the very basics of how you take things apart and put them back together, because you never know when that shit's going to come useful. You're watching the news lately between Russia and all that crap, and like North Korea, and the fact that there might be another war any minute now. Like all that stuff, I try to put that out of my mind when I go to work. But when I'm on vacation, I see it on CNN. It kind of reminds me why I became an Eagle Scout, because sometimes you got to be prepared for anything. And like, I'm not one of those crazy peppers, but I know if you drop me into the woods with just a hatchet, I will be able to survive and I'll be able to rebuild. And there aren't enough people like that. So maybe we should start training some. But that is not an InfoSec talk. That is Frank, the crazy motherfucking prepper, taking over your show.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I like cats.
I like
Cats
cats
cute.
too. I like dogs better.
Pretty good. Yeah,
I
goats
got
are
5 cats.
Oh, by the way, since this came on late, and I'm going to backtrack, go forward. You all, since you two are late on here, Live Beef and Friendly, you got any comments on that?
Live bees? Yo, I got the live bees. I ended up with the patch at the end. I got that shit.
Frank, shut the fuck up. Okay, go ahead, Adrian. What'd you say?
The NoobSec drama. I'm still trying to figure out what people did, and if what they did was actually wrong, it was just mismanagement or actually malfeasance. The sexual harassment thing, I actually haven't found anything firm on other than a tweet or a message back and forth. To me, was pretty inaccurate.
Man.
You know,
The noob sex stuff, I don't know. You know, to be quite honest with you, I've been hearing stuff here and there during the weekend. I know TX had heard some stuff too. It just seems like it's one of the problems I'm seeing actually is that there's a lot of bandwagoning going on. I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I don't know this kid. I don't know where the money went. I don't know if what they're saying in their press release today is, you know, to be taken seriously or what. To me, I don't even know at this point, because things seem so convoluted, that we'll ever know what actually happened. But I think the lesson to take away from it, regardless of what happened or didn't happen, is, you know, don't give your money to some fucking Twitter account. Like, don't go, oh, you know, yeah, cool, here's my money or whatever, you know, for something called NoobSec, when nothing has been written in stone, as in, who are we sponsoring? Like, who's the person that's going to DEF CON, and how much money do they need? And I mean, it was pretty up in the air anyways.
Wasn't it like a Kickstarter?
Wait. They arrested the NoobSec kid? I was hanging with him.
Wait, what? That's news to me.
I heard they got.
What do you mean? You saw that somewhere? They arrested him?
No, I was just, somebody told me something that he was in trouble, that he was looking for people to help him out, but
I heard Caesar's Palace security kicked him out.
I heard a bunch of stuff. I heard that he was removed by. I heard that he was removed by security for fucking with the goons. I heard he was removed because he was harassing a girl. I mean, I've heard like 5 or 6 different accounts of what.
I heard that he was.
So we've all heard a game of telephone.
Yeah, that's the whole problem with this. And for people who are joining bandwagons, and I've been on the end of an internet hate mob before myself, where people don't know what's actually going on, but oh, I know this person, he says something's bad, I'll go along with it.
Yeah. No, this one's ugly. I don't like it. Adrian, to answer it short form, it's ugly. I don't like it. It's there's young people involved with this. I think I'm going to probably refrain from making any judgment on this, other than if there's been any criminal activity that'll come out. Other than that, I don't care.
Yeah, next topic.
Well, you want me to answer?
Agreed. Next topic.
I want Live to have his chance.
I need your
Okay.
clothes, your car, and your
Uh,
computer.
The only thing I've really
Right.
heard, I've read a Twitter thread from someone who claims to had worked on with NoobSec under fundraising. I have no way to verify whether it's true or not. But this person said uh, he felt very uncomfortable at the start based on some of their practices, but thought he kind of put it away in the back of his mind because he really wanted NoobSec to work as a concept. The guy mentioned they had asked for way too much money for what they had planned on doing. This guy also was apparently very big into code of conducts and said that was the first thing that he fixed was a lack of code of conduct. Fucking hell. So that was like a 20 tweet thing about how it was a whole thing was a scam from the start. Only other thing I really heard about, which it would be the sexual harassment claim, which was pointed to someone saying, you want to show off your bathing suit at the pool or two-piece at the pool. And I don't see it as sexual harassment. It's if it's the topic is it's a pool party. I understand. I guess you could vaguely see it if there was no pool party context.
I have a link to that actually where Kim Crowley was bringing that up. I don't remember Kim Crowley's exact background.
Canadian and crazy? Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, I know because she was tweeting about it and talking how bad the sexual harassment was, and I was reading it. It was like, if this is all you got, this is pretty innocuous.
Yeah, it's like the pool party is a place to flirt. That should be an appropriate place. It's not professional. It's social. And it's not like any sexual language was used. If it's talking about an exploratory flirting, it's playful.
It's utterly ridiculous for people to think that male or female or whatever shows up to a pool party wearing, bathing suits not to be looked at. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Anyways.
Yeah, so I think the sexual
they're gonna look at your
claim is bunk. Yeah, sexual harassment claim is bunk. That's the only thing I really look at in depth. Everything else is hearsay for me.
All right. Well, the next topic I have on here, Veron wanted to discuss it. I haven't time to actually read the article. It's something about the Bitcoin split. Apparently, someone is trying to. I don't know exactly how you split Bitcoin since it's an established protocol, and I don't tell you can modify it and still have it be Bitcoin. Maybe a new type.
Increasing the block size.
But if you understand it, go ahead and explain it to me.
So I've heard two things. It's either I think it's related to increasing the block size. Unfortunately, I'm not that well versed into Bitcoin, but that's what was explained to me as to why there's a split. As in, now you have a pre-increased block size Bitcoin and the post-increased block size.
So just increasing it, and yeah, I get it.
Now, I thought one of the changes was something to make it more efficient, because to have Bitcoin on your system, there's the record for the blockchain is freaking huge now, right? All right, I'm ignorant of this too, and I don't know if anybody else has a whole lot of details. And I didn't take the time to read the entire article because
yes,
I got to go ahead.
Fully synchronized wallet takes many, many, many gigs on your hard drive.
So I think part of the idea was there's ways they could make it more efficient.
I think it's
there was also mention of some sort of an algorithm they were implementing. I apologize for the life of me. I do not remember it. If someone said it, I would be able to say yes, that's the algorithm. But I don't remember the name off the top of my head. Oh, something snarks.
I think I saw that. I think I saw that word before too. Actually, Beef.
It was mentioned that was being implemented into the Bitcoin protocol. It's not clear to me if that was a statement about what's already been done in the past or what was going to be done in the future. I heard that repeated very often alongside talk of increasing the block size.
I think no matter what they do, no matter what happens, I think that there's always going to be. I don't think Bitcoin is ever going to be what the people involved want it to be. I just don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen
maybe if we ever solve security, then that would work. But
it's not even that. Most people are currently using it as a foreign exchange, an investment rather than a currency unto itself. And a lot of the places where you can spend Bitcoin have either disappeared or gone away. Until I can buy my groceries with Bitcoin, I have my doubts as to its utility.
Well, that's a bit of a problem with its volatility. I would thinking some stuff like to buy Bitcoin, and then thinking last month it was what 2,400. Now it's what, another 500 up. I don't. It's too volatile for me to be comfortable really buying and using. I really would like for example, I would love to support Brave, the web browser. Its model of trying to essentially replace advertisements with Bitcoin microtransactions. I think it's very well done. I think I really like the concept, but I can't justify. It's the Bitcoin volatility that really just makes me too wary to really.
Funny, the technology, like
Uh,
Bitcoin technology, I think has more value in general than just like as a currency, obviously. So I'd like to see more. Go ahead.
Currently on my hard drive, the block index is 140 gig.
All right, that's a little bit more than I want to spend on my drive. I mean,
Right, it doesn't scale currently at all.
Yeah.
And I know crap all about all the other coin types.
So Adrian, you're getting rid of your beard, right?
Yes. We're going to shave it for charity at DerbyCon. Whoever's the high bidder gets to do the shaving.
Are you going to make a beard
man, are you
badge in memory?
serious? Damn, I'd love to shave your beard.
Make a beard badge.
Oh shit, dude.
I had to flush. What's up?
Yeah.
Oh.
Make a beard badge.
Damn, no chill.
Well, wash my hands too, you know. All right, we could ask about the beard though. Yeah, the idea is to auction it off DerbyCon for charity, for Hackers for Charity. High bidder gets to shave it on Saturday night. Or shear it off more accurate. I'll probably run upstairs and actually do a final shave. That's the game plan. I think James is going to try to get some other people to do much the same.
Oh, I just remembered something may be of interest here to some folk. I briefly talked with Leonard Bailey right after his talk at DEF CON, asking him if what he said beforehand, Black Hat's keynote a few years back about the DOJ not going after people who run like internet-wide scans, ZMAP within reason, and he said the guidance has not changed even during the Trump administration, even with Jeff Sessions, the guidance has not changed. The DOJ's policy is currently not to go after people who do scanning within reason, as in if it turns into denial of service, then they'll still go after you, blah, blah, blah. So I know some people were a little concerned about the guidance. Is one of put out there saying it's still in effect.
I think that's cool. You went to talk to him directly to try to get an update on that. Thanks, Live Beef.
Oh, you're welcome. I always like to go for the primary source whenever possible. I've learned hearsay is of very little value.
Same. Sometimes even what you see is of very little value.
Yeah.
True.
Okay,
So,
what else have people got?
I like goats.
I like goats too. And of course, I've sent me a picture of the Adrian goat, I imagine.
Yeah, I know. It's very cute. I got 2 pictures of baby goats today from TX that made me happy.
Yeah, they are some pretty adorable little critters.
Goats are adorable.
Mm-hmm.
How hard do they take care of? I mean, like, why aren't there more like goat pets? Do they take a lot of land? I mean, I know they like eat up the ground and eat up grass.
I think they eat a lot. Like, I think they're not exactly cheap animals to keep.
No, my coworker has them, and that's where I had the pictures of the babies. And you can't just have a goat; they're very social animals, I guess. So,
Yeah, I know. They're so cute.
I'm gonna go check out your feed and see if did you tweet them out or would you put them out?
No, I didn't. I can put them out there.
Yeah, put them out there. I like to see some goats. Cheer me up. Give my life meaning through goats.
Hey, Adrian, my friend Soul Butter is coming to Derby and wants to meet you.
Okay, well, I'm going to be there, so obviously she'll be able to meet me.
Yay. Awesome.
All right. Well, was Soul Butter the one that was briefly in the...
Yeah.
Never mind. Okay.
She's still in the social justice chat. Yep.
Oh, actually, I did not decide this clue she was in the social justice chat, but okay.
Oh, yeah, she is in there. She's my BFF.
Okay.
All right. So, Adrian.
Yes.
So, I got nothing left to say, and my plane's about to take off.
All right, man.
So,
Thanks for being on, and I'll catch you later.
all right. Stay out of trouble or get into some more.
Bye, Frank. Safe travels.
Hey.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for being here, man.
Yo, man, it is an honor and a pleasure to be a part of this wonderful little thing you guys do. Seriously, like not even trolling.
Yeah, have a safe flight, man.
I shall.
All your trouble in Vegas.
Yeah, really.
No, man.
Have a good one, man.
Oh.
All right, guys. Be good.
Catch you later.
Later, Frank.
Later.
Laters.
Man, I enjoy Vegas, but after a week out there, I'm ready to come home. And I was in a nice little mini mansion, all this nice little private pool, hot tub. I was there last night. Though apparently, boss contacted me and he had to pay for a steam cleaning because I apparently accidentally dropped a drink upstairs. I was like, shit, forgot about that. Got to be careful not to cause any property damage while at the place. But those little mini mansions in Vegas are kind of cool.
I'd have loved to have another day or two at Vegas.
Was that
I was done.
I would have loved to. I wanted one or two more days. I'd lost my voice, but there was still so much more to do.
You were done, TX?
Yep, there's only so much Vegas you can take.
Yeah. Well, I was always out there from Friday to the very next Sunday. You know, so more than a week. How long were you out there, Live Beef?
About 6 days. Well, I guess 5.5. I was there from a Monday up, and I left. I arrived Monday night. I left Sunday morning.
Okay, I left Sunday night, and I was ready to go by then because like most of the people I'd known had already been gone by Sunday.
Yes, we wanted to stay for Sunday, basically. I wouldn't have been able to get home, and I don't know. I had to get back for work. Oh, well, maybe next year.
Yeah, I still need to do my expenses for Hacker Summer Camp. Luckily, it doesn't come out to much. Company kept feeding us most of the time, so and there was food around the mini mansion, which we got rid of at the Human Zoo party.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, the aftermath. I'll be there next year, damn it.
Okay, dope. And wait, and now TXVB and Friendly, you're coming to DerbyCon also? You said, right?
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, if I get a ticket, I could probably go to Derby, but yeah, if I chance of that.
There'll probably be people selling them just a little bit before, but I know that kind of cuts into the whole planning thing. Also, if I understand where you live, it's not an easy. Well, it's a little bit of a long drive.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if it was close to home, then I can make the trip, and if the worst I could do on. There wouldn't be an issue on staying in a hotel, but Derby's a bit of a ways away from me. If a credible possibility of LineCon, when I'm waiting for a hotel and everything.
LineCon, think about one thing. DEF CON. I mean, depending on some of the big tracks, they don't have everybody leave and come back in, but the Sky Talk tracks, which I guess that name made more sense when it was at Riviera because it was in what was called the Sky Boxes that overlooked like one of the big conference areas. So it made more sense then. But they had emptied the room out between each and every talk, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Which is kind of a pain in the ass. I thought I wasn't going to see a talk because I was at the end of a very long line to get in, but I mean, they still had room at the end towards the back. Your room was mostly filled, but I mean, it wasn't like they didn't have some space, though. I guess some people might camp. I figure at least those talks and the Sky Talks, they don't get recorded, so I might as well show up for those, you know.
Oh yeah, there's value in seeing the Sky Talks. Yeah. Go to any interesting ones.
The only one I went to was Laura's about child predation and such.
Yeah, that's
It's a creepy topic, but you know, it's what
yes, it is
covered. And the
Yeah,
map,
but-
people were trying to tag team onto the LGBT movement. The MAP 72, which stands for minor attracted person, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
I didn't even actually dig into that
I've
topic.
seen a bunch of trolls. I've seen a ton of trolls pretend to be pedophiles and part of the LGBT movement on Twitter. They're talking about someone who discriminates against pedophiles is ageist, and it ruffles so many jimmies. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was all just a troll to begin with kitty touchers doing that
Unfortunately,
shit.
not. Apparently, supposedly it used to be a much bigger thing in the LGBT movement back in like the 60s or something, but to gain mainstream acceptance, from what I understanding, and please correct me if I'm wrong, from my understanding, they kind of had to drop the whole pedophile thing, or the anti-ageist thing in terms of sexuality.
Yeah, you guys both basically lost me. I heard something like they were only trolling, and it was. I have no
I
idea.
imagine there are at least a few people out there who are just trolling because they know it's a sensitive subject matter. But there are people out there who legitimately consider it.
No, of course there is. Myself and my colleague at my friend at Interpol, we've had long, extensive conversations for years with pedophiles on the internet. They're not trolling. I have no idea what you're talking about, Live Beef.
No.
What I'm talking about are there are trolls who pretend to be pedophiles and part of the LGBT movement. I've talked with a few of them, like Pterodax.
You're talking about like the
fucking hilarious.
The pedosexual people, you mean?
Yeah,
pretty
much.
That's not a troll, but okay.
Oh, some of them.
Maybe
Someone I know is not a pedophile.
One you talk to, but it's not actually a troll. It's a real thing that's happening.
I'm well aware it's a real thing.
Right.
Many trolls pretend to be real things, but they themselves are not said real thing. They're doing it just to get revenge.
Okay.
I'm well aware the actual real thing is far more common, and it's a horrible, horrible thing.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to the trolls. I'm interested in how you know they're trolls.
Because Pterodax has been a troll for fucking 15 years on the internet.
Yeah, you're talking about nigger Chris. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but you guys don't have to see the situation.
I can't believe you think that anybody in the world wouldn't know that Pterodax is supreme troll. Of course we all know that. I mean, he's my old bro. Pterodax has nothing to do with what I was talking about, but go ahead.
I get that. I get it that it's a real thing, but I mean,
I try not to associate with pedophiles. I'm saying I do occasionally associate with internet trolls. And in associating with internet trolls, that's where I first saw this.
Yeah, well, Pterodax is funny. And Pterodax is just Pterodax. He doesn't, I mean, I don't even know how to answer this. Go ahead.
You don't. Okay.
Hey, here's the thing I told them B-sides. I convinced the whole Goonza B-sides that the badge they gave me was 3D printed. They almost kicked me out. And Noose now hates me for life. If you guys know Noose.
Yeah, she doesn't like me much either because I don't know, I hurt their name in some way. I'm not exactly sure how. She doesn't block me, but we unfollowed each other.
Yeah, I mean, she's not a nice person. I try to tell her, hey, man, it's just new school versus old school, and your new school folks are just fucking suck, man. Conference, not a fucking convention where, it's not a formal convention. But, they're trying to make it a business, and they make all this money now, and it is what it is, I guess, right?
Yo, Penn, are you 604? You same guy?
Who, me?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who you are. Like, do I know you? No,
No,
offense.
I am X. It's not X90. I run this thing called Akashic Flow.
Oh,
Things I
okay,
haven't
sorry.
got
I
it
thought,
at home
I
yet,
thought you
and
were
I'm on
one of
my
those
way to
guys
Burning
from the
Man.
Illuminati party. Like I thought that's what I thought for a minute. Hey, those are
Oh no,
pretty.
I was there. I was there with Ninja Networks. They made me go there for the
Oh, okay.
25th one because I haven't been there for years.
No, that's cool. I just thought maybe
But
you
I
were.
broke in there anyway. So if you saw a bike messenger running around, that was me.
Oh, okay. That's what you
Yeah.
think, huh? I would totally would believe.
The Whiskey Pirates now.
Yeah,
Woot woot.
I
Well,
totally believe
trying
you.
to,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, here I got some black badges. If you guys want to see some.
Adrian, is that your flowers? They're very nice.
My flowers? Where's that?
I don't know. Somebody's showing flowers.
Oh, I'm not seeing flowers. I don't know where you're seeing flowers.
Someone was using their camera to show flowers.
Oh, what's that mean? My camera's off. My
Okay.
camera, it looks like this. Very dark and very beauty. I did trim around
Dark
my
and
lip
beardy.
today though, just because it was
Isn't Dark and Beardy? Isn't Dark and Beardy a song by Weird Al? Sorry,
no, that would be a different one. That
not
was,
even a joke. Not even funny. I'm just gonna be quiet. Yeah, you are Dark and Beardy.
Now, you said you're coming to WCon?
Yep.
Okay, dope. So you're part of the Canadian contingency.
No, I'm part of the Minneapolis contingency.
Oh, you moved?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I'm lying. No, I'm still in Canada, but I don't live here in my brain. So.
Then what?
Well, we're happy to accept you as a Kanaki refugee.
Yes, I've been told that I'm going to be rubber stamped right through the process. That it won't be a problem because I'm all right. Apparently, I'm an acceptable Canadian.
It's very few and far between, but yeah, you are one, so it's okay.
Okay, cool.
We'll let you through the wall when we build it.
Nice.
We won't get built in that amount of time, of course, but you know, you get the point.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to be, like, I just don't like living in Canada. I haven't liked living here for a good 10 years or longer. So it's just not me. It's not my scene.
Yeah, I was watching a video on like Canadian politics a while back, and it was called the Cult of Trudeau, or the Personality Cult of Trudeau. And someone was saying, like, I know some people did. Someone said something like, I'm trying to remember the exact details. What he said, like Harper was doing a good job at first, but then they got more power in there, and they started doing some stupid shit, which led to Trudeau getting elected.
Yeah,
I don't know the entire details of Canadian politics.
Well, like basically we have a 3-party system here, which is, it's kind of like you guys. It's no different. I mean, you guys got to see what happens in 3-party runnings, right? With Sanders. One of them, or Sanders, whatever. One of them is always playing the game of whose side they're going to endorse. And it's, it basically keeps the system going back and forth from one extreme to the other. So the Libs to the Tories, back and forth, which would be the same as your Dems and your Repubs. Canadian politics is actually really interesting, but I've been not really paying attention to it for a couple of years now, to be honest. So, yep. But yeah, the cult of Trudeau family definitely exists. It's pretty funny. Because, I mean, yeah.
Here in the United States, I think there was some animosity towards, Jeb Bush, because people don't like the idea of dynasties. And we've only had 2 Bushes. And I think there was also some animosity towards Hillary Clinton because, don't want there's something to be said for a family having so many presidents in its line. It does seem a little weird to American sensibilities.
I think from a general, I don't know, it's hard to say there's a Canadian perspective, but certainly Canadians don't like the Clintons, that's for sure. They just don't like them, whether they're Libs or Tories. They just don't like the Clinton family. I don't know. I think also there's a certain smug moral superiority with most Canadians. They're a bunch of assholes that think they know better than everybody. And I call them out on that as much as I possibly can, but I'm just one woman living in a large country. But I think there's a very anti-American streak in Canada that really gets on my ass. I don't like it. I think it's ridiculous. And literally, I mean, you have people say, yeah, Americans all suck, eh? Yeah, eh? Like I hear that all the time, like at least once or twice a week. And that's their answer to whatever thing they're focusing on. Doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter. It's it's kind of stupid that way up here that they can't even talk about something in context and related to a topic. They'll just go, well, you know, the Americans, eh? Like, that's how they are, eh? They're just a bunch of fucking this. Meanwhile, we're sort of promoting and selling myths to the rest of the world that our society up here is so much more better. But the reality is we fund the very same evil things that the United States does. We just do it differently and more obfuscated. And our
And with a smile on your face.
Exactly. And oh, I'm sorry, eh? I'm so sorry. Meanwhile, I mean, you know, okay, for example, in the intelligence industry, the Five Eyes in particular, of course, it's been going on since 1948, so whatever. It's nothing new or fancy just because Snowden showed up. But, you know, within the Five Eyes intelligence industry, Canada has the least oversight out of all Five Eyes. So guess who's doing the majority of the shit work and nobody's paying attention to them? Yeah, that's right. So as long as that keeps happening, I think it's just really funny how the American press spends all their time talking about in sort of insular bubble about American everything, American this, American that. It's understood. However, if the American press would take their head out of their ass for 5 minutes and have a look around, the simple fact of the matter is the majority of the things that are being done in lieu of and in, you know, for Americans are being done outside America by foreign nationals.
So the U.S.
So
press typically has been fingering the U.K. as being the most aggressive or having the least oversight. You're right. They've not really mentioned Canada much at all. But
no, they don't. And
Of course not, because Canada is so fucking friendly, and they'll smile, and then they don't realize that the reason why 90% of the Canadian population lives right around the border is not because that's the most manageable land, but because they were so scared that we take it over.
Well, I don't know. That being whatever, I mean, the reality is that Canadians, the Five Eyes system has been since 1948 very carefully keeping all eyes on United States, because the majority. Listen, the fact that okay, here's an example, a real live one, if you will. The fact that you guys are talking to me and I'm in Canada, okay, means that this information is subject to warrant and it's subject to Five Eyes availability, meaning that as soon as any ping, you guys communicating with me, means that as a foreign national, being a Canadian, it means that it falls under the purview of the Canadian intelligence services. So what they will do, if the Americans want information about, an American, the Canadians certainly can pick it up and give it back to the Americans. So there's no such thing as an intelligence agency that doesn't spy on their own citizenry. That's absolutely
yes. We know about intelligence laundering. There's been attempts in the U.S. government in the past to try to limit that. I don't know how effective they are. They're probably not effective at all.
Yeah, well, you say we know, but no, a lot of people don't, Gecko. You might, but a lot of people don't. So
yeah, what about we have agreements with Great Britain also? We spy on their citizens, they spy on our citizens.
Yeah, well, GCHQ specializes in certain types of activities, right? Each agency does, but you know, I mean, even then, there's even servers that are in Canada that are NSA. You know, I mean, it's the way to basically what you said, Gecko, laundering information. But I do find it fascinating to watch the American press literally avoid some pretty important issues that go on in other countries that are highly relevant to the United States. I've always found that very interesting for the past 25 years to watch it.
So there's only so much space for them to really put stuff in. They do in some cases obsessively cover stuff outside of the United States that is relevant to U.S. interests, like Syria. That's been for quite a few years, been a lot of focus on Syria, and that's not physically located in the U.S.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do object to the notion that the U.S. media is solely insular.
Oh, yes, they do. We're busy worried about what Caitlyn Jenner's wearing and the distraction of the day, rather than covering anything important.
Exactly. I can't believe you just said that, Gecko. Come on, you're a smart guy. You kidding? You mean you actually think the U.S. media doesn't do the job of attention metrics and making sure people look a different way? I mean,
how is that even relevant to your point
about
the media being insular?
It is insular. The reason they would focus and talk about Syria is because the U.S. has an interest in Syria currently.
Exactly.
Right? Right.
Exactly.
But that doesn't have anything to do with what I was saying about just the nozzle, the fire hose, the information and how it's sent around, regardless of what the topic is. If it's basically a bartering system, if the United States wants information and they can't legally obtain that information, they will obtain that information from one of their signatory partners. That's all I said. I didn't say anything about different countries, just basically Five Eyes signatures.
But then you followed up by saying that the U.S. media is very insular, that doesn't really cover stuff of interest to the U.S. that happens
That's because
outside
it's
the
100%.
U.S.
That's because I said that because I will 100% endorse what I said because it's absolutely true. The U.S. media is intensely insular. In fact, the news that I get up here is completely different than the news that you guys get down there. So can you explain why, if something's ongoing in the world, the United States media doesn't seem interested at all when it's highly relevant?
Because
You're gonna have to
the
give some
news media
specifics
is owned
here
by
because I gave an
corporations.
example that disagrees with what you just said, and you're just hand waving it away.
No, I'm not hand waving anything. The only thing I said is that the Five Eyes agreement, that's how they get information. That's how they circumvent domestic law. And then I said that the media often ignores things. That's it. They ignore things that are important. Tons of things. Oh, fuck
Give an
off.
example.
Seriously.
No, I'm serious. I gave you an example of Syria, and that's applicable.
And then you brought in Syria.
Syria, that's not applicable. What is applicable?
Of course they're going to talk about Syria because the U.S. would like to use their weaponry. They'd like to liquidate the things they have so they can make new things. It's part of the $1 trillion budget of the military. So
yes.
I was talking about information laundering, and then you brought in Syria. Yeah, they talk about Syria, but that's because they're beating the drum of wanting to get involved.
I didn't realize when you brought in the topic of the media and you're talking about things of interest that you were still solely talking about the intelligence laundering.
Of course I am. I didn't bring up other, I didn't bring up, I mean, if you want to bring up, so I can bring up Libya. I mean, yeah, there's been a whole series of wars that have been created and need to happen, but that's because it has to do with having to liquidate military assets and using resources and giving money to dark vendors and people. This is the economic base, one of the economic base of the United States. I was talking mostly about information laundering in the sense that, and it's actually more information bartering because they collect the information and they trade it back and forth to each other. And so I'm just saying fuck off because you seem very like condescending, and I wasn't trying to be condescending towards you, so I'd appreciate it if you'd probably, try to do the same thing to me and we'd probably get along a little better.
I misunderstood your context in bringing up the media, so... Yeah,
well, the fact
I'm
that
sorry for misunderstanding you, but the
fact that you said the media isn't insular in the United States is absolutely just obtuse. Of course, they're insular. They have their interest. Their interest at the time, and whatever time it may be, is to promulgate and advocate resources and positioning for United States, that's what their job is. I didn't say, I mean, I don't have to like it or hate it. It doesn't matter. I can't do anything to stop it. I'm just saying that if information is needed, information will be had. And domestic law is continuously circumvented. And that goes the same thing with any kind of conflict. I mean, they want information about Syria, they'll probably talk to one of their partners to get as much information as they can about Syria.
Sure.
That's just the way it goes.
Only reason I brought it up because of misunderstanding, then misunderstanding's been resolved.
Word.
Yeah, some people wonder about. I use some news. One of the things I think our media doesn't cover a whole lot that I'm finding more comments in alternative media about is the nature of like the refugee crisis in Europe. And I don't see our media covering much about that. But then I hear people who are actually from various places in Europe say, "Oh, it's not that bad." But I heard people say it is bad. But then I don't know what the socioeconomic level of the people who are saying isn't bad. Like for instance, if you're a rich person living in a gated community, it might affect you differently than, let's say, you're a working class person living about town. And some places that will report on things like that would be something like Breitbart, which definitely does have its own freaking agenda. But the problem is the mainstream media doesn't actually report on some of the stuff, so I'm not sure what's going on. That's something I think that the United States media is kind of, I don't know if influence is the right term. I don't know if we just don't care much about what's going on in Europe, but
well, I mean, I think you know why the mainstream media doesn't give a shit. It comes down to the fact of their corporate overlords say, "Hey, don't pay no attention to that."
Yeah, I always
It's
figured
pretty
that's
much
the
that
case.
simple.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
well, yes, follow the money, you know, especially follow the advertisers. That's the interesting part.
Kind of a very strange relationship in modern media and advertisers.
Agreed.
Anyways,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
watched.
nowadays, in advertising, they're creating entire news outlets just so they can, make sure their narrative hits the stands, right? I mean, that's what the Washington Post's been doing for the last 40 years. They just got a new, more fancy one lately in the past 5 years. So
Yeah, there's a
gotta
guy goes
wonder
for the
how
angle of
sustainable it is.
Mr. Mediocre online, and he had this great video once about a conspiracy theory, essentially, but it makes sense between government, corporations, and social justice warriors.
Oh, Mr. Medicare, yeah, his videos.
And basically, it amounted to, at least in the case of corporations and so forth, you don't want people saying racial slurs and other shit on stuff you're advertising on. So having them crack down on some things like that. Like I guess people complain about like the YouTube ad apocalypse. At the same time, I understand it's hard to sell like makeup and so forth when someone's giving a talk about Islamic extremists or pro-feminism, anti-feminism, and all that. And a lot of the topics I listen to on YouTube, I can see why advertisers would want to stay the hell away from it.
But most people don't really assume that the product being advertised, the company advertising a product, endorses
I wouldn't, but no, I think there are
the
people
video.
do. I think there are people says, "Oh, you support this kind of thing? How dare you?" Even if there's no direct connection.
Well, the first I really heard of any notable backlash regarding that was that Wall Street Journal's article. I hadn't really heard of anything before
About
that.
PewDiePie?
What?
About PewDiePie?
No, the one that made it after that, the one that caused the adpocalypse.
Oh, I'm not sure which one you're referring to then.
The Wall Street Journal had they did PewDiePie, and then another one a bit later. I think the article of theirs that essentially caused the adpocalypse, where they mentioned YouTube hosts extremist videos, and your advertisers are, and you advertisers, Honda, your cars are appearing. I mean, your ads are appearing on videos extorting terrorism, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, my understanding was Wall Street Journal was the spearhead of the adpocalypse.
Okay, that would make some sense.
So what's the I got a question here. What's the difference between someone like Pterodax spewing like, anti-Semitic shit and like talking about niggers this, niggers that, being ironic about all that shit, or the real people? What's the difference, Knife Beef?
Well, the difference is that you can credibly fear the real people will actually go out and do harm. You can fear the real people will actually advocate for real policies that will hurt people.
Yeah.
So people
So
fucking around.
it's okay then that Pterodax says those things for laughs. That's cool,
yes.
right?
I see no difference between that and yes.
Right. Just checking in.
No problem with that.
Okay.
Okay, that's. Any context for the check-in, or is it just?
Oh no, I've known Pterodax for years and years. I'm not an observer of people. I know people. That's the difference between me and you.
Are you saying he's an actual pedophile or an actual anti-Semite?
Absolutely not, sir. Just wondering what your perspective is on that.
I'm a little confused about what you all are arguing about. Some people.
Yeah, we're not arguing. I was just curious about what his view on Pterodax was. That's all, since he brought him up.
Mainly that he trolls in a style that I remember from the early 2000s. I think he's
funny. Okay, yeah, no problem.
That's it.
Go ahead, keep talking. It's all good.
Okay. Ouch. Talking about me being rude, my God. Anyway, yeah, kind of derailed me. I don't know where we left off.
I was talking about media, and I do get the feeling that well, a lot of our mainstream media in the United States pays attention to shit that I really don't think matters, and I don't give a damn about. Well, for instance, the whole good example of that would be the whole Trump getting 2 scoops of ice cream at some place, and I was like, who the fuck cares? Or they talk about the wall. They talk about, well, it's racist and we should have open borders. I care more about talking about the wall being probably ineffective and being very expensive. So why do it?
And also very stupid.
Well, of course it's going to be. Of course they're going to talk about a wall, a physical wall, because for years Lou Dobbs has been espousing the fact that, hey, before we need to get the illegal immigration under control by building a wall, and we need to secure the border before we figure out a way to start letting people back in. But there's problems with things called ladders, fucking tunnels. How the fuck are you going to secure? How the hell are you going to secure a whole lot of fucking land? And most of that, especially in places like Texas, around the Brownsville area, where there's a damn golf course right there on the fucking border that they're now going to build a wall through. So what are you going to use? Eminent domain to take over this golf course? I'm sure those Trump supporters that golf are going to be very happy about that.
No, is there any real traction on the wall, or is that just kind of just been put in the back burner in favor of the rest of the circus?
Well, it almost got put on the back burner, and that's why President Trump made that tweet about wanting to kick transgenders out of the military because a few Republicans got together and said, "Hey, you want your wall? You want it funded? We'll take funding off the table, but you have to give us this, and we'll keep funding it."
Yeah, that really put a sour taste in my mouth seeing that. The Trump banned transgender, especially when he campaigned in support of LGBT. So it's kind of a bit of a middle finger there.
At the same time, though, if you're going for gender dysphoria issues and so forth, and you have like a 40% suicide rate after transitioning, stress of military life may not be the best thing for you.
I don't know. I mean, I think that a person who wants to serve in the military should serve. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter what the fuck they do or how the fuck they dress or however. I have no problem with that. But when the bullets start flying, your ass better pick a post and fire back.
I just have to keep remembering that there's more than 3 years left of this, and I don't know. A lot of the circus is just. I see stuff like a Trump staffer posting on the Donald asking for information, and beforehand, looking at what's happening with the Trump administration, I just mentally played the circus music in the background. Now the circus music is just faint, disjointed. It's tired, exhausted, but the circus won't stop. It just does not stop.
Of course not. I mean, it's.
Oh my god.
It's gonna keep going, especially when he gets reelected.
God.
So you actually going to get reelected? I mean, I think the Democrats have an easy time winning if they put forth a candidate, let's say something like Jim Webb, somebody fairly moderate.
But they're not gonna do that. Democrats have a fucking problem. There's 2 wings of the party. There's the Bernie Sanders camp, and then there's the corporate Democrats who I pretty much want to call fucking Republican light. We're not quite assholes, but we have no fucking message. And that's the reason why I left the Democrats after the election.
Well, if you're talking about no message, I mean, I kind of think the Republicans are in a bit of a worse situation than the Democrats in terms of not having a coherent message.
Not really. They just lean to populism. They lean to nationalism. It works.
But in terms of what's the substantive policies, like there is no unified front for nationalism. There is no unified front for populism. There's a lot of pushback, a lot of chaos right now. And just like in the Democratic Party, you yourself said there's multiple wings, but within those wings, they have their own fairly coherent ideas. I'm thinking Democrats
but
are a
I
bit
mean,
more organized than
but they're
Republicans in
not,
that
they're
regard.
not unified. They're not unified whatsoever. It's
Yeah.
okay. You have Bernie Sanders who wants to give free college to youths, and try to do something, and then you got the corporate ring that says, "Hey, look, we can maybe do that, but we're not going to do that right now. We're just going to sell the ship slow and steady, and we're just going to talk about a bunch of nothing and pander to our donors and whatever the fuck they want."
And versus the Republicans, which I don't know, is a split between the nationalists, the Tea Party, what?
Yeah.
The evangelicals, the business wing, and they have many more splits. Maybe as far as I can see, in terms of the macro side of things, they look to have more splits than the Democratic Party.
But
I don't think so.
This is why you need to elect me dictator.
Well, wait, go ahead.
This is why you need to elect me dictator.
Well, after your beard gets shaved off, then maybe we'll like the beard. You can't really have a dictator that only lasts half a year.
Yeah.
At least on its hosts.
Well, actually, no. My it's been there for more. It's been there for like 10 months. My beard. It's about 10 months old. It'll be a year old at DerbyCon. That's why it's going to be cut to DerbyCon.
Got it. Wait, holy crap! The year, less than a year to grow. That is massive. Wow.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know what's normal. My family's very hairy.
Oh, I could show you normal. I mean, it's basically me with a goatee. That's the only thing that grows.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like I was post DerbyCon. I just did shave during DerbyCon. I was like, I'm gonna grow a beard for a bit, and then I just kept letting it grow for a bit, and then I did a lot of home engagements, didn't have to see anybody, and then my uncle passed away, and I figured, well, I'd wear my beard for my uncle's funeral. Then my mom passed away 12 days later, and I was like, I'll just keep growing the beard for a while longer, and then eventually it's been on me so long it got so massive. It was like, fuck it, I'll shave it for charity at DerbyCon.
Okay.
And then someone can have my 1-year-old beard. Well, approximately 1 year. Give or take a few days. Or a week. Okay, anybody got any other subject matters?
How long until we have an internet-connected nuke?
Internet-connected nukes?
Yes.
I imagine.
And this is where my NDA kicks in.
Well, I'm certain
we're all gonna die horribly, aren't we?
I'm certain that they are networked already, and I'm certain that probably somewhere someone fucked up and didn't air gap properly. So I'm assuming we have them already. Am I wrong?
Let me qualify my question. How long until they're fired without the authorization from the intended party?
I do not know.
Yeah, it seems like things in terms of I don't know. It seems like whatever this cyber Cold War crap it's been escalating quite a lot in the past few years. You can't help but wonder how long until it gets really, really bad instead of just foreshadowing.
Wait, you're waiting for what they call, what is it, the digital Pearl Harbor?
Yes.
I just don't know. Because I also see two types of potential digital Pearl Harbors. One would be a financial crisis caused by a cyber attack. And one would be if someone can find a kinetic way to use an attack to cause physical damage, like take out power plants, which would eventually cause physical damage. Actually, I had a power go out on me while I was at the gym earlier today while I was on the treadmill. Now, I wasn't running, so it wasn't so bad. But a treadmill that instantly stops is a bitch. What else was I going to say?
Yeah, I can imagine.
But I have no idea about using it to actually. I would hope most people would have that shit air gapped, and maybe there's some places where 60s technology that's less connected is probably a better call.
Yeah. Although I'm sure if I keep hearing Cyber Pearl Harbor enough times. Probably not going to live long enough to see any kind of such thing. I'm going to die of a fucking aneurysm. So cringy. That term is so cringy. Oh my god. It's as bad as cyber pathogens.
But she's a very, very nice squid lady. Oh, sorry, I don't know if you.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. But her name came from yeah. Anyway, you know what I was getting at. You're making a joke. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, I guess it is kind of a cringy name. All right. Well, we've been at this for 2 hours and 20 minutes. So has anybody got anything else? All right. In that case, I guess I'll stop the broadcast and I'll say goodbye to you off air. But thank you all very much for joining. And see you next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Only times I generally don't do these casts is if I'm very, very, very busy at a con. And that doesn't happen too often on Wednesdays. It did at Show Me Con this year, but that's about it. So I'll catch y'all next week. Bye.